Shalom to you.
Shalom to you too, brother.
Shabbat shalom.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a little lesson we're going to read. We're going to prepare. Already been prepared, and we're going to do today. I'm Prince Israel,
How you doing? My name is Dwayne.
young brother. We this is second lesson, second sit down with me, and we got a lesson prepared. We're going to talk about becoming a beacon of light in the darkness. It's the name of the label. That's the lesson that's prepared. You can also find this lesson on our Facebook page. This video will be uploaded to the YouTube page a little bit later. And today's date is October the 13th,
Right.
2018. To begin, I give praises, thanks to the power of Yisrael, the creator Elohim, the only true power, and he alone possesses all strength. I thank him for allowing me to see all the wonderful faces that are present on this day. I thank the creator for allowing me to be your servant on this day to help in the process of your redemption and your return toward righteousness and in your return unto him. I pray that whomever this lesson is for, it reaches you, and that you are able to receive it in the spirit in which it is being delivered, in the spirit of love. I greet you all in the name of the Holy One of Yisrael by saying Shalom Aleichem, peace be unto you all. This lesson starts off speaking about minority. A minority is something that they teach us who we are in today's culture. They teach us that we are the minority, they're the majority.
Right.
And a lot of us today, we believe that we are a minority because they say so. But there's actually more of us on the earth than it is them.
Right.
And how could that not be? Because we were the originals.
Exactly.
You know, the aboriginal people to almost every nation on this planet. Just about. So we outnumber them vastly. But the problem is our mind state, because of the many years of captivity that we've been through, our mind states are not operating on the level where they should be. So although we outnumber them, our minds had been degenerated almost to a beastie type stage.
Okay.
And when I say beastie, I mean we do some things, man, and just don't add up. Don't know why we do some of the things we do. Like, for example, why would we worship a dead man on a stick? See, we allow people to feed us these ideals and we hold on to them, but when you sit back and really rationalize some of the things you do, you don't understand why you do the things you do.
Right.
You believe that it's, as they say, by faith. The point I'm trying to make is that they beat this into us. They beat this beastly mentality into us, you know? And now it is very difficult for us to come out of that mentality because we have that minority way of thinking. We're the underdog way of thinking. We don't think like champions. We don't think like rulers. We don't think like kings and queens and princes. We think like, oh, I'm under and I got to find a way to come up. So by any means necessary, I got to kill my own mother, you know, and do all types of beastly type things, molest your own sister. All type of beastly type things is what we do. And I'm not talking about you as an individual because you may be fine. But the majority of us as a whole, as a nation, as the Father said in the book, we will eat our own children. And that's what's happening. You know, in households, parents are separating. The mothers walking away from the children. The fathers walking away from the children and the mothers. We just don't care anymore. We're leaving our young out to die. When I was a young man, I had a puppy. I had a dog. It was a Great Dane. Her name was Pepper. Big black Great Dane. And I had two dogs actually, and the other one was a Belgian Shepherd.
Okay.
His name was Rex. Rex ended up impregnating Pepper. Pepper had maybe 9 puppies, and she ate 5 or 6 of them. Ate them up. That's the beastie mentality. And the mothers today, by not properly educating their children, and the men, by not properly taking care of their responsibilities of their young and their nashim or their wives, that's a beastly mentality. You understand?
Right.
Just like Pepper turned on her dogs because she felt that was the thing to do, this is what a lot of us men and women do to our young, and we men, we do it to our families. We turn on them with a beastly mentality because we're operating on a minority mentality in reality. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We have to elevate that. All these religions we got out here, all these things are only holding us back from our true potential. Who we are, they're just stumbling blocks to keep brothers like you and me from uniting and forming a one-minded, one-body coalition. The Africans, the Israelites, the Moorish Americans, all of these people are people of color. And with the wisdom that each one of us possess, being in separate portions of the earth, the powers that be today are trying to do what they can do to prevent us from uniting and coming together. This is the reason why my philosophy is it starts within the home. You got a Isha, you got children.
Yes.
If you sit down with your woman and your child and you begin to teach them this truth, but not only teach them, but you begin to live it yourself, to be the best man you can possibly be, which means that no matter what you and your woman go through, y'all stay together, you work it out, you discuss it, you talk on it, and you deal with the shortcomings in your family and your household first, and y'all come up and raise them children under the banner of serving the Creator. As a man, no matter how broke you might get, you might be out of work forever, but you find a way to make it happen. If you got to go out and wash cars, whatever you got to do, you do it in a manner in which, first of all, you don't jeopardize your freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you jeopardize your freedom, chances are you get caught, you're going away, and your children and your nashim, your isha are going to be in a worse position.
Right.
So you have to do what you have to do as a man to represent them, to provide for them, to take care of them, but most importantly, mentally, not with that minority attitude,
Mm-hmm.
but with the attitude of a prince, the attitude of a king, the attitude of a god, even. With that proper attitude is how you have to deal with your family. And we have to realize this. So when they call us a minority, it can't be because of numbers.
Right.
It can only be because of our mind state. That's the only reason why they can call us a minority. Because of our mind state. Think about it. Almost a group of black people can come together and stay together for any significant amount of time or anything positive. It's very difficult for us to work together because I want it my way, you want it your way, and if I don't get my way, I'm pulling out, I'm backing out, I'm taking all my resources with me.
Right.
They don't do that. They don't like each other, but they still look at the common goal. We got to remain on top. So we got to do whatever we got to do to destroy those who are a threat against us. We don't think like that because we don't think that we got anybody that's a threat against us.
Right.
You know? We don't realize the war is being waged against us from all those nations that don't look like us. You understand?
Yes.
And those same people are destroying those other people who look like us. They do not want to allow us to take back what rightfully belongs to us. So they feed us things to keep us in that minority mind state. Men running from their families, women giving up their children. Women giving up their children is becoming more prevalent in the earth today. I got 5 children upstairs by myself right now.
Mm-hmm.
Their mother, I had to divorce her. She had to go. She gone. And it's easy for the women to walk away now because they feel like they got some freedom.
Right.
To me, it's a cruel thing for a woman to give up her children.
Absolutely.
That girl should be knocking on my door every day, but that's the job of an Israelite man. Take care of your responsibility. If you're not getting along with the mama, she can go, she can be whatever she want to be with, and do whatever she want to do. But your responsibility is to your Yeladim, your children. Because once she feels she doesn't want to be under your authority, then she needs to go. And if she goes, those children stay with you.
Right.
That's a real man. All right? Always remember that because people are not going to teach you about household priorities. And the household is the first important place where you start. Then you command blessings from the Creator by taking care and providing for your household. Can you read the definition of the word minority, what it means?
Minority, the state of being a legal minor, a part of a population different from others in some characteristics and often subjected to differential treatment.
Subjected to differential treatment. Do we, black men today, receive differential treatment?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you think that we might receive this differential treatment because of the state of mind that we operate in?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, it's true. And they're letting you know. What's the definition of minor? Because minor is the first part of minority.
Okay.
And we don't really peep that, but a minor, first thing coming to your mind is somebody who's underage.
Right.
The first thing coming to your mind, somebody's young. But look at the mind state of a minor. And they call us minorities. They're actually calling you an adult minor. Read it. Let's see what it says.
Inferior in importance, comparatively unimportant, not serious. Wow.
Now, what that got to do with age?
Nothing.
Everything you just read is dealing with the mind.
Exactly. Nothing.
So when they call us a minority, they're not telling us they outnumber us because they know that's not true.
Right.
They outthink us in our minds because our minds are not operating like they should. Our minds are operating in a level that they chose for our minds to operate. That word minor has nothing to do with numbers. It says, minor says inferior in importance, comparatively unimportant, and not serious. Now this came out the dictionary. I didn't add this. It came out the dictionary. You see, so when they call us a minority, it's not dealing with, oh, it's only a little bit of y'all and it's a whole lot of us.
Right.
They saying you ain't important. We're going to treat you different. And what's the other thing? It says differential treatment. We're going to give you a different type of treatment than we give our own.
Right.
And we've been receiving a different type of treatment from them since we came over here on those slave ships.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Seriously.
Absolutely.
And they've been calling us minors ever since. See, I'm going to share something with you. I don't teach people how to live. I teach people how to teach people how to teach people how to live. You understand?
I understand.
I teach teachers to teach teachers how to live. That's my purpose. That's my job. That's what I'm doing. So if I'm sitting here and I'm speaking to you, then that means that you have a great service in this earth. That means that the knowledge that you learn, you have to incorporate and take back to those who are less fortunate than you to educate them, to bring them up onto the light. And one of the first places for every man to start is within his home. Your Isha, your Yeladim, they're not here. That's cool. But they are here. You understand?
Right.
So when you go back, that's the first thing you do, is you raise her while you're being raised. When your intelligence is being raised to the glory or to the light, you have to also feed some of that nutrient or nutrition onto her. Because if you elevate and now all of a sudden you standing strong in your posture and she's still feeble and weak and bending over, you two are unequally yoked.
Right.
And it's not right for you to be taking advantage of her and abusing her in that manner. You might not understand what I mean, but believe me, if she don't rise and elevate with you, then you're going to abuse her. It's not good. The only way you can secure that you don't abuse her is to elevate her while you're being elevated. Now, if you had this knowledge and she didn't have it, and then you begin to share with her, that's one thing. But both of you are coming in at around the same time. She should be being fed while you're feeding. You don't just go out there and get an apple and you sit in the car and eat your apple in your car knowing that your family is in the house hungry. So, but you outside, because you just came from the market, you're looking around, making sure none of them coming out the house or looking out the window while you're eating the apple. No, you will take that apple, cut it up, and everybody will get a piece, and we will all eat at the same time. So what I'm saying to you is, by being the head of your household, the instructor piece, you have to take this apple that you're receiving today, this nourishment, this nutrition, this food, and you don't keep it to yourself and be selfish with it. You take it home and you feed it to your wife and your children while you're learning. See, my children, we sit down and we do these things, but I can't talk to them like I'm talking to you. We read from the books. But more importantly, your lifestyle is an example of life for her and for them. Your lifestyle. Whatever your shortcomings are, your Yeladin, your Isha, they know better than I could ever know. Even if you told me,
Right.
they're living it. So they know better than me. So through your lifestyle of changing and becoming less of a minority and more like a righteous man, it will change everything. The whole statistics of your life in her eyes will change. And she will begin to see you differently. This is what you must do. Now, I'm not talking to you like you're a bad dude or
Right.
you're disrespectful to your woman. I don't know anything about your lifestyle.
Right.
So this message isn't just for you. If it is, use it.
Okay.
But it's also for people who may be
Right.
listening,
Right.
because we have to touch those who are needed. All right? They got another definition on here for differential. What that mean? Differential.
Making a distinction between individuals or classes.
Making a distinction between individual and classes. Now, differential is a part of the first definition for minority.
Right.
Minority means that they're going to give you differential treatment.
Exactly.
So that means that they're going to be making a distinction between the individual or classes, meaning you and them. But even within us as people of color, even within the different classes of people of color, they're going to make a distinction in how they treat them.
True.
You understand? All right, here's an example. They are treating us, this class, Judah, Israel, here in America, they're killing us.
Right.
They shooting us dead in the middle of the streets. It became so prevalent now, so common now that they don't even argue or question it now. It's normal behavior for them now
Right.
to kill us dead in the middle of the street. But they don't go in Saudi Arabia and kill the brown man in Saudi Arabia dead in the middle of the street.
Right.
They kill them and deal with them a different way. But the extinguishing of that nation is the same agenda. It's the same agenda. They just do it on a large scale with them. And with us, they do it one by one, piece by piece, mass incarceration, diseases that they infect us with.
Yeah.
And I say that they infect us with because they infect us with some serious diseases. In 1995, I taught a lesson. In 2018, I watched a video where the lesson that I taught from 95 was being brought into fruition today. This lesson was about the placenta,
Okay.
the human placenta. How when you go and you have a baby and they take your placenta and tell you that you can't have it, they have to have it. They do chemical biological warfare with the placenta. They will take the placenta and extract and experiment on it and come up with a germ, a disease, an infection that whoever that particular disease is made to kill, you can drink that same thing and it won't bother you at all. But if your genetic makeup and your tissues are of that one that they use that placenta to design that disease for, it will kill them dead by touch. They can release it in the air, they can release it in the food, they can release it in the water. But once it comes in contact with who it was designed for, it will destroy you from the inside out and you're dead. And all they know is you got some kind of cancer.
Right.
You're dead now. That's all they know. You can eat it, it won't bother you if it's designed for me.
Right.
I can eat it and I'm dead. And it can be a death that takes 2-3 weeks or even 2 or 3 years. I got some kind of cancer forming in my back, in my leg, in my stomach, in my groin, in my intestines, some type of infection, and it'll kill you. Well, that's genetically modified. They formed that.
Right.
And they formed it from the placenta when you were born. They kept that placenta. And the portion that they didn't use for lipstick or hair care products and those things, they took that and used it for mass murder. Weapons of mass destruction. How they can kill you and you won't even know that you're dying from something that they did. You won't know. You think you got a cold or flu. You got that thing that they put out for you of a person made up with your structure. But it's okay because the Creator, He's having His way. And by 1940, 2040, 2048, they will be almost an extinct nation. The reason why I say is because they're not reproducing on the levels that's needed for them to reproduce to still stay alive.
Right.
The sun is killing them. The sun is eating their body, their tissues. So what they're doing is they're trying to get a portion of what you have, which is melanin. All nations, everybody under the sun has melanin, just in different levels, different degrees.
Right.
Well, the black man has the most important portion of melanin. And melanin takes the sunlight, the ultraviolet rays from the sun, and utilize it for energy in your body.
Right.
But that same sun kills them. So they're trying to find ways where they can extract your melanin and issue it into their babies as young, when they're young, so that they will live a longer life. If you don't believe me, go back to 1930. Look at the white kids and the white children and the white men from they didn't come with big butts. They didn't come with thick lips. They didn't come with broad noses. They look like Europeans.
You're right.
But today, look at them being, go back another 30, 40 years from now. I would like to say 50 years. And look at how them white kids have been being born ever since then. They've been being born with a portion of that melanin that we have inside of us. They found a way to kill our people and extract it and put it up into their genes to protect them from this sun. They don't want to be like us. They don't want to be a part of us, but they have no choice if they want to survive.
Right.
They take that melanin and inject it into their youth, their babies, at a very young age. And they give us things like vitamin K and tell us that it's needed and necessary, and it's not. All you need to do is breastfeed your child, and then vitamin K, which clots the blood, it will cause your baby to get everything that your baby needs. They give us things in our bloodstream to kill us.
Right.
They do.
I believe.
And they give their children things that's going to try to prolong their life. They do, believe me, because they don't want to go extinct. All right? So this whole minority thing that we're reading about is really a state of mind. It's a state of awareness. It's a state of consciousness. And we have to cause ourselves to elevate in our minds. Let's see what Psalms 94 and 21 is talking about. The first chapter to be read here is Psalms 94 and 21. Psalms 94 and 21. And this is what it says. And it reads on this wise. They gather themselves together against the souls of the righteous, and they condemn the innocent blood. But the Creator is my defense, and my Elohim is the rock of my refuge. Put your trust in the Almighty. They gather themselves. If you read 20, it tell you who's gathered themselves. It says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law. They do. They make laws to deceive us, to entrap us, to hurt us. For example, the vagrancy law. After they freed the slaves, they came out with a law called the vagrancy laws. And if you violated these vagrancy laws, they could lock you up.
Right.
But once they locked you up, your freedom was taken away from you, because the only way that a man couldn't serve in slavery was if the only way a man could serve in slavery was if he was incarcerated. That's why today they have these laws where in jail they pay you, what, $1 a day?
Yeah.
Something like that in
Right.
jail?
Yeah.
Because you're a slave in jail. They realized that. This vagrancy law allowed the black man to be, a man could just walk around and say, oh, what you doing around here, man? Nothing. Okay, you go to jail and lock you up.
Right.
Once you got locked up, then they was able to sell you off to these campsites. One good book is Israel and the Apparatus.
Okay.
That's a very good book. Israel and the Apparatus, a book for you to read, and it explains all this procedure and how they would entrap us. Well, we would become their slaves all over again. They primarily did it with us men. Once you're incarcerated, then your citizenship or your rights or your freedoms was revoked. You became a slave all over again, and they had us working in coal mines, and our people used to die in those coal mines.
Right.
They would rent us out to people who owned those mines, the sheriffs, the government, those nations. They would rent us out to the people who owned those mines, and they would get paid off of the labor that we did, and we would die in those mines.
Right.
And all that came from the vagrancy laws after they freed, the so-called freed us from slavery. They're slick. They invent these laws for our demise, to try to destroy us. But the Creator gives us a warning. He says, hold off, young man, I got your back. Just be patient.
Right.
Serve your life, dedicate your life to me, and I got your back. We have to really learn to worship this King. We must, because if we don't, we're in trouble.
I agree.
You have any questions?
As far as what you were saying, I just wanted to comment, like, as far as with the, with them doing stuff to us, as far as genetically, medically wise, and I totally agree with what you were saying as far as, because I felt, first when I was in school and I first heard about the Tuskegee experiment,
Yeah.
things like that, you know what I mean? It really, and I just seen a report the other day that a kid got a flu shot and died, like immediately after he got the flu shot.
That's
And
right.
a young black boy, he just died. His mom said he took him home and his brain swelled within like 2 or 3 hours off
That's
a
right.
flu shot.
That's right.
So then that's why I know there's a reason I don't get flu shots and stuff like that. Like I believe, as you said, that I don't know what these people do. So only time that I really go to the doctor is if I'm in dire need. You know what I mean? I'm sick. But I agree with everything you said about that because I read about it in school and then you hear the reports all the time, even with the Ebola stuff. That I believe that they sent that somebody over here, they allow somebody to come over here with that so they can infect other people and see what they do and try to weaponize it. That's what I believe, and it's just, you're touching what I've been thinking about a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's just too many reports that's going on, and if it's right in your face, it can't be wrong. You know what I mean?
You're correct. You're right, and it's right in our face. Some of us got our eyes wide shut. Wide shut. Psalms 83. The next chapter is Psalms 83 and 1. You want to read that one?
Sure. Psalms 83 and 1. Keep not thou silence, O Elohim. Hold thy peace.
Hold not thy
Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Elohim.
Keep reading, please.
For lo, thine enemies make atonement.
Now, the Talmud is an agreement. It's a wicked agreement.
Okay.
That they came on one accord to accomplish a goal.
Right.
You know, we don't make agreements. Black people, colored people, Hebrew people. We have discussions and then once we agree on something, we all walk away. But these nations, when they make an agreement, they stick to it to the best of their ability amongst themselves. Atonement was a wicked agreement to destroy us as a people, to remove us of any possible blessings that we can possibly receive from the Creator through the regenerification of our minds. By causing us to be minorities in our minds, they were successful, and they have been successful and are still being successful today. But read on and let's see who's all involved in this.
Okay. And they hate thee, have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So what was they trying to do?
Cut off our people completely in the name of Israel, put our name where we don't remember, is no remembrance, that like we're forgot about.
That's right. But one of the other important things that verse says is that he wanted to cut us off from being a nation.
Right.
And we are not a nation today.
That's true.
We're a nation in name. But in order to be a nation, you have to own your own.
Right.
We don't own anything. It belongs to us, but we don't own it.
Right.
We don't have any hospitals.
No.
We don't have any schools. We don't have any financial institutions. We don't have any financial currency.
No, we don't.
We don't have any gold, diamonds, silvers. We don't have any land. We don't own anything, so we're not a nation.
Right.
We're not a nation. We are a nation by name only. But in ownership and right, those things which constitutes a nation, we don't own them. We have no legal system. Where's our lawyers?
Right.
Our judges? Where's our Supreme Court? We have none. You know? We have a group of people who try to get together to form things, but it ain't gonna last because the heads of those communities, those heads of those groups, and I'm talking about one in particular, is corrupt. He's foul. He steals from the people. And that brother's gonna be dealt with by the Almighty as well. You know? But in order for us to be classified as a nation, there are certain things that we must have in place to be a nation. We have a land down here in Georgia called, we call it Goshen. We got 140 acres down there. Brother Nasik Ra and Nasi Yashuvel are the two spiritual leaders that's down there running things. But they have a supreme council who helps to guide along the way in certain things that needs to be done. But this is a beginning of something great for the Israelite nation within the earth. This is the beginnings. And more of us need to be a part of and try to assimilate into these types of things. If you can't pack up and move, then send something to support it. Because the direction that's needed and taking place is preparing us for tomorrow. Because they're coming to get us. And you have to understand that. Here down Goshen, the whole ideal is to be self-sufficient.
I believe in that.
Yeah, well, that's what we need to do.
I believe in that. Like my plan, like I was telling you, I was even talking about it with a woman that we have to be set apart, you know, because like it says in the book, be ye set apart so you don't come across with their plagues. So their plagues you won't be affected by it. Be you set apart. And also I believe that because it'll help us in the long run. If you have a backbone or whatever, it's harder for you to fall away from what you should do. If you have people around you that's all going this way. And it'd be harder for you to go back because they would not let you go back. You know what I mean? It'd be more encouragement to you. So it'd be harder for you to fall back if you have everybody around you going this way. Then more likely you're going to continue to go that way because they're not going to let you do anything to make you go back here or over there. So I believe in that fully.
That's true.
I fully believe in that.
Community is the way to go. The Father says in the book of Jeremiah, I believe it's 32, 33, I think it is, where he speaks about when you go into captivity. It might be 36. Buy ye houses, or build ye houses, plant ye gardens and vineyards because you're going to be there for a while. He was right. We've been here for over 400 years.
Right.
And we've been here for a while. Well, we're supposed to be coming up on our 400th year, coming up soon, but we've been here for a while. And in order for us to do this, we have to build us houses and plant our food. Because the Father knew that the government food was going to be corrupt. And the government food will poison your mind. It will give you things like autism, all types of cancers, all type of aneurysms, and all type of mind things that come from our food.
I believe
the foods that we eat is poisonous. It's killing us.
I believe we should grow. Me and my female were talking the other day. We're going to start buying seeds so we can grow our own stuff. Because I don't, you know, they spray this stuff on and all this. I don't know what these people spraying on this stuff. They spraying whatever they want to spray. So I don't want to put that in my body. I'd rather, if I grow my own, I know it's right. I know it's not contaminated. That I can feed my family that. And I know they'll be healthy. Rather than me going to the store getting everything and I don't know what they spray, what they put in the ground to help it grow faster or whatever. And I believe that we should grow our own food.
We have to. We have to. Because they're designed to kill us. It's so bad that if I go shopping for food, I don't go shopping in my neighborhood, the community. I go out in the suburbs where the Europeans live, and I go in the suburbs to buy my food.
Right.
Because they're not going to poison their people as quick as they'll poison us.
Absolutely.
And it's just true. I don't even want to buy water around the corner.
Right.
I'll take a drive 10 miles to go shopping to a supermarket 10, 15 miles away to go do my shopping and bring my food back here to feed my children. That's what I do. Because they put things in the food in the black communities. Mm. They put things in the water in the black communities. They don't want to see us rise. Because if we rise, it brings about their demise. And they don't want to stop what they're doing.
Exactly.
So the Creator tells us that they engineered these plans against us. Who was those people that did it? If you read on, please.
Okay, what does it stop at?
So go back to 4.
Okay, 4. And they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacle of Edom. There's a lot of question about who Edom is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we had that discussion. There's a lot of question about who Edom is, but Edom has a lot of authority. Read on, please.
All right. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites.
Who are the Ishmaelites?
The Ishmaelites, that is the son of They're the descendants of Ishmael.
And who are they today?
As far as I know, I could be wrong, but I believe that's the Arab nations.
Supposedly the Arab nations. Correct. But they're all coming together against us.
Right.
Read on.
The Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes. I can't pronounce. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Hagarenes.
Yeah. I don't know who they are.
Jebel and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, and with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have Holpen, the children of Lot.
Now, these are all nations that exist in the Middle East.
Right.
They call it the Middle East. Okay? So most of those nations are confederate against us, Moab being the Chinese, the original indigenous people over there. They are all coming up against us, trying to bring us down, to keep us in deception. But if you trace their history back far enough, you'll see that they are us.
Right.
Their progenitors come from us.
Right.
But over years, they have been amalgamated with different nationalities of people. And most of them don't want to associate with us. Like if you check history books and you go back as far as you can in history to ancient Japanese samurai warrior.
Okay.
In order for you to be a samurai warrior, you had to have some black blood in you. Uh-huh. In order for you to be a samurai warrior, you had to have some black blood in you. You know, that shows you what their true honoration of the black man really was. But today, there's very few samurai warriors, if any, but they can care less about you as a black man.
Right.
They can care, they did racist against you, they don't even care, basically.
That's true.
But their ancients didn't feel that way. Read on. We're done with that. Let's move to another scripture that we have in here. Jeremiah 23 and 10. Yeah, I'll read it.
Okay.
You can grab and put your finger on Job 9 and 24.
Okay.
Jeremiah 23 and 10. Remember, family, we still dealing with the mind state, a minority mind state, which means a lower method of thinking, a lower method of providing for yourself, for your family, a lower method of operating as a human being, in a lower class of a man. Okay? Because they call us the minorities. And this is how they associate us on that level of nations. For the land is full of adulterers, for because of swearing the land mourneth. The pleasant places of the wilderness are dried up, and their course is evil, and their force is not right. You see how the Father's here, what he has to say there? He said, because of swearing, the land mourneth. Basically, swearing is a symbol of sin.
Right.
Because of all the evil and sins that they're doing, the land is actually crying out. The Father says the land cried out for the blood of Abel, when Cain killed him. The earth cried out because of that. A lot of people don't understand spiritual things. But this earth is not producing like it's supposed to because of all the sins that's taking place in the earth. These are all spiritual things. these earthquakes, these tornadoes and hurricanes, those ones which are not being caused and brought on by these Europeans, is the earth itself shedding its blood, crying and hurting and in pain because of all the evil and mischief that's being done upon it. Now, I know a lot of people is not going to be able to understand this lesson. It's just this portion of that lesson that I just spoke. But all you have to do is check it to see if what I'm saying is right. And you'll see. Check with a whole lot of ancient mystical systems and how they relate to the spirit of the earth. How when Moses struck the rock, in the story where we read when Moses got the water out of the rock, when he would speak to the rock, which he was commanded to do, the rock was commanded to issue out water to feed us. Well, how could he speak to an inanimate object and it understand him? What he did was he lost his cool and he struck the rock and the water came out, but he forced that rock to open up and let water come out. Well, the Creator didn't command him to do that. The Creator says to Moshe, I said to you to speak, Ledaber, speak to the rock, which is a much more pleasant thing to do. A lot of us men, we must learn that's how we are to command our households. Speak to our nashim. Don't do as Moses did, lose your cool and bust her upside the head. She might still do what you want to do, but the spirit that you create with her, within her, is evil. So what Moshe did was by striking the rock, he caused a different type of force or energy to be transferred from him to the rock when he struck it.
Right.
That's why we can't do things by force. We have to do, even the Creator didn't really do things by force. He gave us a will. When the brothers went out to war, he said, check them out. And all those with a willing heart, those are the ones you use. When he said, make this of gold and silver and brown, let them give willingly. It's all about a person's free will that sets this proper spirit for effectiveness to take place in the earth. Just like when we put the call out. If the person's spirit is not willing to give, then anything we put our hand to is not going to work. It's not going to last. That individual must be willing to give of a soul, of a spirit. If a woman enters into a relationship and she's contentious about giving herself in that relationship, it ain't going to last. It ain't going to last. But if she's willing to give herself the proper way, like she's supposed to, voluntarily, without being coerced or forced, that relationship will go forever. If a woman seeks you out and she humbles herself at your feet, that's the best woman to hold in your life. Rather than having that woman that's always fighting, always complaining, always nickering. It's never good enough. No matter what you do, it's never good enough for her. You got to be careful because that relationship is not going to last. You might get a year. You might be lucky if you get 2 years. Anything past that is just torture.
Right.
But you might get 2 years, and if you, within that 2-year period of span, if she doesn't turn and become a woman that's in this because she wants to be in it and begin to give of her own, that's going to bring destruction on you or her, either physically or mentally or emotionally. Physically, somebody going to die. Mentally or emotionally, somebody going to be so drained and hurt that they're just going to walk away from the relationship. And usually it's because she's not giving herself. If the man is in the right mind frame, right spirit, and he's being a man, usually it's because she don't give into her proper spirit. And that spirit, her proper spirit, is to serve this king, serve the Creator. That should be goal number 1.
Right. Same
thing with anything that we organize and form in this earth as a people of color. Spirituality must be intertwined within it. Because if there's no spirituality intertwined within it, it won't exist. You can be, I don't care if it's just the head man who's the spiritual being. And he disseminates it upon the people, and they might not hear it, accept it, but somebody has to be the spiritual force. That spiritual energy has to be entwined in it in order for it to be successful. Why is the United States so successful today?
I would say because just military might wise, I would think.
I'm going to share something with you. And it's not that you may not know. I don't know if you do or you don't. The United States have been successful for 300-400 years now. Why they have been so successful is because they deal with witchcraft. They deal with black magic on a high level. A high level. Those who are the heads are in charge. They sacrifice to their deity and they honor, they are true to their worship of that deity. We who call ourselves children of the light, servants of the Creator, we wishy-washy. We don't give the Creator the energy that and the time that they put into remaining on top in their survival. Without that energy, they would be nowhere. But if we were to give the Creator the energy that we're supposed to give and the time that and the dedication that we're supposed to give to Him, this thing would flip-flop overnight. See, the closer we draw to the Creator, see, this is our time. And a lot of us are not realizing this. Havoc is coming down on us harder and harder as the days go by. More and more of our people are suffering. More and more are dying. More and more are being destroyed and oppressed. But we are contributing to that oppression. If we could take a step back and just stand back and do what we need to do to uplift our people and uplift our minds in this condition, because this war we're in is a psychological war. And a lot of people don't realize this. They're battling us up here. They're not battling us in the streets with the guns and the knives. That's just an illusion. They're battling us up here to destroy us up here to give us the minority mind state. And they're being successful. They worship their deity, and their deity works in spirit. And in that spirit, it affects your spirit from here. And it causes you to walk in a state of darkness. Although you're alive, you're really the living dead. You don't even understand it. And you need to be knocked upside your head to be brought back to life, if you understand. Mm-hmm. Cut your eyes, hit you in your ear, and chop you in your throat is what needs to take place for us. And those who have an ear understand what I'm saying. These are the things that we need to happen to us in order for us to wake up and come back alive, come back to life. They worship their deities in a manner they do. We don't give the Creator our strength. We half-heartedly do this. We don't do it with the joy and the happiness of a woman in a brand new relationship. We don't, but we should. We should. Because that's the way that you command the blessings of the Almighty. And when the time comes that we enter into this spiritual covenant, this spiritual union with the Creator, He'll turn that curse overnight. How could a black man rule the earth for thousands and thousands of years, and a European man who's been here for about 3,000 at the very most? How is it that he can have superiority over nations who's been here for thousands and thousands and thousands of years? The only way that can happen is if the Almighty Himself causes it to happen. And because of our disobedience, He's done just that. He caused it to happen. He allowed it to take place. And all He's saying to us today is, family, reach back to me. Reach out to me. See, I don't want to sit here and argue with my brothers and go back and forth with a bunch of foolishness with my people, because it's not about that. Right. It's about this. Developing our minds so that we can think properly. This is why I put so much posts up on Facebook about love. Brothers, treat your woman right. Woman, treat your men right. Parents, treat your children right. I ain't got no problem putting my woman up on high, that I love her. She might be treating me like dirt, but the world won't know. I'm going to put her up on high, and I'm going to stand behind her, and I'm going to do what I got to do to elevate her to her consciousness, to her level where she's supposed to be. But I wouldn't stand out and be like another man of color and disrespect my woman, so that another brother can do the same thing to his. Now, since I've been posting that kind of stuff, I see more and more brothers starting to uplift the woman in righteousness. Not that issue she's a god, although she is, but that is within its context. It's not like she's the creator. Exactly. It's a totally different thing. How could you be a god and she not be a god? Exactly. It doesn't exist that way. Right. But it's a whole totally different level that I'm speaking of. You got to help her to retain her godliness about herself. You know, her haughtiness is a good thing as long as it's not in arrogance. You understand? Mm-hmm. She has to know these things and she has to feel it. So since I've been doing these things, I've been seeing a lot of brothers talking about he in love with his woman. I love you. You're my princess. You're my queen. You're my goddess. You know, you're important to me. It's important. And some brothers get up there and say, well, brothers, if y'all don't like it, that's on y'all. But I'm happy. My woman treats me good.
Right.
Treats me well. Acknowledge her. Let it be known. But the point I'm trying to make is that's what we as a people must begin to do. And that's why I put it out there, so that that spirit will be contagious. And others will say, you know what? This brother Prince be speaking highly about his woman. Shit, I got a good woman. I'm going to do the same thing. And now, when you look on Facebook, a lot of men are promoting their women, speaking good about them. Now, I'm going to say, I started that? Yeah, I started that. I would take that on the chin. But I thank the Creator for the understanding. Because when I started coming on Facebook, that was my intention. To cause us to look back at the families. Now, when I start seeing people posting more photos of their family, talking positive about their family, their children did this, their children did that, we going as a family to go ahead and do, that's the type of stuff that touches my heart, that makes me feel good. That type of stuff. Not that I started that, but we men have to redirect our energy from constantly beating down on our lesser selves and raise up to a higher selves, because that's what they are. They're us. They belong to us.
Right.
And if we don't elevate them to that level of understanding, nothing is going to grow. We can't do this. Men, we cannot do this without our women. Period. That's what Rome did. Rome did it without women. And then what did they do? Boys sleeping with boys. Men sleeping with men. We ain't that kind of, we not built like that.
Exactly.
We need our women. And I'm not saying that we need them for sex only.
Right.
The Creator says that it's not good for man to be alone. And that's true. But when a man finds as a wife, he finds as something special. I ain't talking about when you find a girl or a woman, you got something. I'm not saying that because she could be poison to your soul. But when you find a wife is a special quality woman. One who raises you, helps you to get to be your best, who relieves some of that burden and stress that you have on your life so that all of your lives can be better. She has enough sense to say that. See, some women believe, why do I got to always fulfill your goals so you can elevate, so you can go somewhere, so you can do something, so you can get your desires met, and I'm suffering, my desires are not met. If she was an intelligent woman, she would know that by allowing you to reach your goals, everybody else's goals are being met.
Right.
But if yours ain't being met, you can't provide for your family.
True.
You can't get her that house that she needs. You can't go out in the yard and get the seeds to plant the proper vegetation. You can't buy that 60 acres that you need to get because your mind is not working right, because you home struggling with her over a piece of bread that you left on the table when you left to go to work. She want to call you and cuss you out, messing your mind all up. You can't focus on the things you got to focus because she's not helping you. She's being more of a hindrance than a help.
Right.
And that kind of woman, you either have to deal with her or don't deal with her. You have to make that decision. You have to take the time, but you can only give her a certain amount of time, because after a while she will begin to take a toll on you and you won't be able to elevate and grow and be who you got to be. But I'm giving this advice only to the man that is on point with his life. I'm not talking about a man that's cheating and robbing and beating on his woman,
Right.
you know, and mistreating her and just being, I'm not talking to that fool. I'm talking about a man that understands the basic principles of life, the need of survival, the duties and responsibility to the great king. That type of man is the man that I'm speaking to. When you got a woman that's hindering you from serving the Creator, get rid of her.
Right.
But don't throw her away. Try to work with her. Try to reason with her. Try to get her to understand why it's important that she's on the same team you're on, and that's the Creator's team. And then after a period of time, if she just want to continue to do the things that she want to do because she wants to do it, she got to go.
Right.
And it's going to hurt your soul, but she got to go, because if she don't, the Creator going to make you go. And who do you want to leave? Because if you leave, you can't be effective for nobody.
Exactly.
Take them kids and run. That's what I had to do. So I'm giving you advice that I take myself.
Yeah, I did the same thing for my kids. The woman I'm with now, I've been with her a few years, but that's not my kid's mom, because my kid's mom was not, I wasn't in the truth at that point, but I still knew some things that a woman should do, and she wasn't doing them. And so I had to go to court and get custody of my kids, because I didn't like the environment that they was being raised in. It wasn't conducive. Like I tried to work with her, but she was so far into what she wanted to do, how she wanted to go, and this and that. And I wasn't raised that way. I know certain things and certain jobs that a man has and certain jobs that a woman has. And for your family, those need to be met, you know. And I tried to work with her and I couldn't. So I had to go to court and get custody of my kids because I couldn't have them in that environment no more. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's good. I only pray that you gave her enough time to try to get herself together.
Oh yeah, well actually I broke up with her and I still said we can do the co-parenting thing. And I told her it was things that we had to do or whatever. But I didn't take her to court till maybe a year after that, year and a half after that, because she was refusing. Like, one of the things was she would, like, go out and leave my kids in the house. So she can go out and party or do whatever she wants to do. At that point, my oldest, my daughter, she was maybe 8, and my son was about 6.
Really?
Yeah, it was times that I would go up to the house to see them, and they answer the door, where your mom at? Oh, she's gone. And then I would sit at the house and wait for her to come back, and this would be hours. So if I never came up there, they'd have been in there, just in there, by themselves. Anything could happen. And it was about 2 or 3 times of that, and I told her, I can't take it no more. You going to, and then when I came up there again, and the same things happened, I said, well, I got to get my kids. I just can't. You're not going to leave my kids alone so you can go out and rip and run. And then I had a daughter, and she was the type where she would have a boyfriend, then another boyfriend, another boyfriend, another boyfriend. And I can't have you doing that in front of my daughter. Because if she sees that, then she thinks that's the way women are supposed to behave themselves. And that's not the way women are supposed to behave themselves.
I can see why the Creator gave you a portion of His truth. From the things you're saying to me, if they be true. And I have to say if they be true because I haven't heard the other side of the story.
Right.
But if they be true, I could see why the Creator would bring you into His truth. Because that's how a man is supposed to operate. And it's a wonderful thing. I actually commend you for it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. You ready?
Yes, sir.
What do you have for us? Job 9:24?
Job 9:24.
Want to read?
Yes, sir. The earth was given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Let's stop there. In the book of Job, it says that the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. And we have to acknowledge that that's true.
Yeah.
This earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. They have dominion over this planet. And those are the same ones who have carefully come together to make a Talmud against you and the people that look like you. They have made an evil agreement with one consent and said, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yisrael may no longer be in their remembrance. And when you go to the average black man today on any corner at any given time and ask him his nationality, most of them don't know what to say to you.
That's true, because less than 6 months ago, I didn't know what to say. Most I just say I'm Afro-American or I'm black. I won't say that now, but I know exactly what you're talking about, because like I said, 6 months, maybe 6, 7 months ago, if you asked me, that would be the response that you would have got.
And the bad part about that is you grew up in the church, and you still didn't know your nationality.
Still didn't know.
You thought you was a Gentile.
Yes, I did.
Because they stole your mind. They made you think like a minority. Because if they told you were the children of the Bible, what would that mean to you? I mean, like, damn, really?
Right.
That's me? You know what I mean? And at that time, if you're believing in Christianity and you know Jesus, they talk about that character, Jesus. The Christian philosophy is that he's the king of the Jews. And if they told you that the Jews was black, and then Jesus is supposed to be God, and then that means that God is black, whoa!
Right. Right.
Do you understand the psychological effect that would have?
Yeah.
That's why it was important for them to paint that deity, that false deity, to look like them. And to implant and impregnate your mind with the misconception that that deity was real, that he was God. The God, as they say, God. I don't deal with God.
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
As they say God, they gave you that conception. So if God is looking like that, he's supposed to, because he's superior.
Right.
Which means that the European, you're looking at him now, he's superior because he's in the image, he's more in the image of as you would think God, then you are. That's right. So it's okay for them to rule over us. That's how we conceptualize things. It's okay, but it's not okay.
Right.
Because they had to make us believe and feel in our minds that we were minorities. So they treated us as minorities and then gave us the label as a minority, and we run with it. I'm a minority, just like you're a Gentile, you're a minority. That's what you believe. You're not a minority. You act like a minority, for the most part. You act like a minority, but you are the majority. And not only are you the majority, but you're the gods on earth. They're not the gods on earth. You are. But we don't accept that. Right? So we're going to go to Isaiah 29 and 13. This is one of my favorite. You can grab Psalms 95 and 1.
Okay.
One of my favorites, Isaiah 29 and 13. Many of us take hold of religion and we try to find sanctity in religion. But I'm going to tell you today, family, religions are false. You shouldn't attach yourself and be a part of any religion. Religions are man-made. And we're not dealing with religion. Just because we use the book that they call the Bible, that shouldn't be the first thing you think that we're talking about religion. We're talking about nationality. We're talking about a duty and a responsibility to the Creator in the heavens above, in the earth beneath, and in the waters underneath of the earth. He reigns supreme in every dimension, everything in creation, and that which doesn't exist that you can see with your conscious eye, it exists. But he reigns on a level of understanding that you have no idea to begin to fathom how deep this thing goes. You have no idea. You see with your eyes and see what you see, and you think that that's it. You go to sleep at night and you dream in your dreams, but most of your dreams are only a reflection of what you see with your eyes. But it's so much deeper. What do you think a nightmare is? A nightmare is a dream that you can't understand. So you're afraid. So the Most High takes you and reveals something to you that you never saw with these physical eyes, you wouldn't know how to describe it.
Right.
But it'll frighten the heck out of you.
True.
You understand? All he do is take you to one of his different dimensions. That's all. Because they're real. And what we're living right now is not real. It's only a dream. This is only an illusion. It is. That's why it's so easy to obtain righteousness right now and continue to live in it. Because tomorrow, what you do yesterday? You remember what you did yesterday? You got to think about it, right?
Yeah.
Where is it at? Is it right here?
Yeah.
It's gone.
Right.
Is tomorrow here?
No.
No. So the only thing we got is what?
Right now.
So that's what we got to do. We got to do it now. Because if we don't do it now, see, what we do today is going to be a product and develop tomorrow. Today. So everything we did yesterday got us to where we are today, and all we did yesterday was commit a whole bunch of sins. So the only thing that exists is the right now, the here and now, in this level of our consciousness. You understand? I hope you do.
Yeah, I do.
Because if you really do, everything you do in your present will bring about beauty in your future. Most problems that we have in life that rise up is because when they first rose up, we didn't properly deal with them. Okay. If we would have properly dealt with them, they would have gotten handled and solved in their infancy stage. But because we didn't properly deal with them in their infancy stage, now they're out of control and we want to jump on it and fix the problem.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's the problem we make in life. You know what I mean? Let's move on. I'm going to read Isaiah 29 and 13.
All right. The
Creator says through the prophet Isaiah, "Wherefore, for as much as this people draw near to me with their mouths," we talk a good talk. We say what we're going to do, but our intentions are wicked. "As much as these people draw near to me with their mouths and with their lips, they do honor me." We say some beautiful prayers. Oh man, I've been to some services, man, some Hebrew services, where the brother had the opportunity to pray. He said, "Ledaber Elohim Hashemayim ve'et haaretz ve'et Hashemayim ve'et Koil Yom Yom," and all that beautiful, wonderful Hebrew dialect. Taylor New Derek Shelka, Ashianak New Hossein Biametika. All these beautiful words before the Creator. And didn't mean none of them. He said, show unto us thy way, O Creator, that we may walk in your truth.
Okay, just tell me what you'd like to search for.
Siri just came on
Yeah,
again.
same thing we was
You
talking
see what I
about
mean?
last time.
These phones is unbelievable.
Same thing.
She just came on again, and I didn't call her.
Nope, not at all.
They listening.
Yeah, this is crazy.
But we say all these beautiful things with our lips and our mouths. But then after we leave the house of worship, we go back and smoke the crack. We go back and smoke. And I ain't going to get that deep as crack. We go back and smoke the cigarettes. We go back and smoke the weed. So many of our people are smoking marijuana today. It's an epidemic. The European legalized it for one reason and one reason only. To keep us in that mind state of a minority. This is not weed that we're smoking today. This is something else. It's a bunch of chemicals combined together to give you the body a stimulation, a false stimulation, and an impression. The real cannabis or whatever it is that they need to be smoking, the real marijuana, if you ain't growing it yourself, I would run from it.
Right.
But this stuff is highly addictive, where so many more people are partaking in these things daily because they think that they're going to get cured and fixed. It's a small thing inside of the cannabis, the plant, the marijuana that cures these things. If they really wanted to help us, they could just extract that and give that to us, but they don't.
True.
They don't. They give us different things that has different effects on the body, but it's not even about the body, it's about the mind. Sure, it makes the body feel good, but it happens through the mind. That smoke is congested and it leaves things in your brain that causes your brain to send false signals to the rest of your body thinking that you're feeling good. And that's what happens. Those chemicals are released in your body. Those chemicals are killing you in other ways, and you don't even know it. But a lot of us are too foolish to do that. The point I'm trying to make is, when they leave the house of worship, what they do is they return back to a regressive lifestyle. They gave that excellent elevational prayer, but the moment that the prayer was over, they worshiped the Creator in a different way. You don't worship the Creator by what you say out of your mouth. You worship the Creator by what you do. And then you combine that with the words of your mouth. You don't just say all these beautiful things and then go out there and act a fool when you walk the streets.
Right.
You know? But that's what a lot of our people do. And I'm talking about high-ranking officials in the house of Yisrael. You know what I mean? Look at the Catholic Church. I'm sure in their language, Latin, I'm sure they made some beautiful prayers to that deity that they serve.
Right.
I'm sure they did. But even then, they screwing little boys.
Right.
Raping little girls.
Facts.
You see what I mean? It's evil. But it needs to come to an end. People can only speak on certain levels of understanding, and that is the level that they attain in their knowledge and their walk. People can't speak about things that they hear and don't understand, because it will be confusion. So when you speak that which you know, not that which you don't understand. Okay?
Makes sense.
Yeah. So in order for us to say these prayers and be right and worship the Creator with not just our mouths and our lips, but yet with our whole essence, is to worship Him in truth. And that's where we make some mistake. If you're a sinner, go before the Creator and tell Him you're a sinner. Even if you got to do it before the people. We're full of sin. You ask the Creator to forgive you and to forgive us. Salakanu abiki hotot. We anu anakadu kol Yisrael. Forgive us all for our sins. We have to ask the Most High for that because we are full of sin. All of us.
Right.
But mean it when you ask Him. And begin to develop yourself so that you can walk away from those evils that you know you do, but you know you ain't got no business doing. This year I took a fast, and I've been on this fast for a year now. Come the end of October, my year will be up completely. I'm in my year. This is my 1 year month that I'm in right now. This is my final month for that year. I know what I did was I restrained from sex. I haven't had sexual intercourse in almost a year. It's a very long journey, a very hard journey, but a very much needed journey. I haven't been this long without that pleasure since I was a child. I'm not even saying a teenager, I'm saying a child. Because even as a teenager, I indulged in it several times, many times. And I come to learn that this energy, this force, had control over me that I didn't even understand it had control over me. It had me lusting after women that wasn't mine. See, I was thinking with a minority mind state. Every time I see a girl, the only thing she was good for was one thing. Even if I didn't physically touch her, I had to get some kind of sexual gratification from her. If it was in conversation, if it was just for her to make me feel like I was a man again, to talk to her and get that feeling, you know that feeling, make you feel like a man. But I had a woman. So what need did I have in getting that gratification from a woman that wasn't mine? You understand? But I did it. Oh, I splurged in it. I went out there and did what I did. Sometimes I couldn't wait till my woman got mad at me. Oh, we ain't together no more? All right, let me go and see what I got to see and do what I got to do. I did it. And I ain't had no shame to my game. And I really didn't feel bad about it. Until one time I did something and it shook my whole world. And I realized I needed to stop. My woman got mad. She cut me off. She left. I don't want no parts of this. She left. I realized that I had a problem. I had to sit back and really go to the Almighty and ask the Creator, what's wrong? And what He showed me was that I had a spirit on me that was a very lustful spirit since my youth that needed to be brought under control. So what I did was I separated from myself, for real. And I had to get that spirit up out of me. Now that's not to say that you can't do what you do with your woman. You can do whatever you need to do with your woman in any way that you need to do it to make her feel satisfied. That's not where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from is this, where a man feels like he just has to have something that doesn't belong to him. Right. And this is how we've been many of us. We'll look with our eyes and get gratification. Do not come downstairs for no reason. We'll look with our eyes and get gratification. We'll use our ears and bust it up with them and talk to them to get gratification. We go out, we might not even stick them or have intercourse with them. We might just use our fingers and fondle them. Right. We might use our tongue and just lick them down or kiss them. Or we got to get some type of gratification, but any man that's almost righteous is going to try to make sure he don't go too far, because once he go too far, he got to take care of him. Right. He ain't going to go but so far. Some men don't even care how far they go. They still ain't taking care of them no matter what. But I was the type of guy that I would go to my limit. But once I got to my limit, I wouldn't cross that road because I wouldn't want to have that responsibility. Right. But that was a problem. That was a real sickness that I didn't understand I had. It wasn't a problem for me because as a Hebrew man, you understand that as long as you don't do a certain thing, it's cool. But what I'm trying to share with you and express to you is that it's not cool that you do that certain thing. That you should stay away from that totally so you don't fall victim to abusing a woman again. It takes a lot, a real woman, it takes a lot for her to let you lick all over her body or fondle her body with your hands, or to sit back and talk and you talking that smooth stuff. She's expecting things. So you're building her up just to cut her off and let her down. That's abuse. That's hurt. That's deceit. Now you got your woman at home waiting for you to call her up just because y'all had an argument. You waiting for her. She waiting for you to call her up. She's being patient. She's being relaxed and calm, and she ain't dealing with nobody. Right. She's being humble and just waiting for your return. Now I'm not talking about that woman that goes out in the street and seeks another man. Right. I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about that woman that stays home waiting for you, that really loves you, that was waiting for your return, for you to get it right, so she can embrace you again in unity and righteousness and truth. But yet you're out trying to find a replacement for her, and the replacements You're just having fun.
Right.
So I guess you're not really trying to find a replacement because you don't want to settle down, because you're not ready for that lifestyle. These things are evil, man. Man is not meant to be alone. It is so true. But the woman that you choose to be with has to be wife material. Other than that, you shouldn't be dealing with her. If she's not wife material where you can get engaged to her or marry her, then you shouldn't have her dealing with. You shouldn't be doing anything with her that would constitute female and male relations. It's okay to have friends, but if you got friends, it has to stay at that level.
Right.
Not friends that you playing and licking and touching and, you know, and stimulating her sexual organs. That's not how it's supposed to be. All right, so what I was trying to say was that I had that same type of thing happen to me, and I had to fast for a whole year to struggle and pray and meditate to have it removed from me. I actually found myself seeing women while I'm riding down the street, seeing women, I'm just looking at them. Damn, that one, she look good. That's wrong. That's bad. And we get so accustomed to it, we get so acclimated in that type of attitude that it's the norm. We expect men to conduct themselves like that. But I'm here to tell you, a righteous man should never conduct himself like that. A righteous man. And if we're all striving for perfection and righteousness, then we have to realize that these are the things that we shouldn't be doing. We can't do them. And if we begin to do them, then we got a problem. So now, what happens when you finally meet a girl? Well, when you finally meet a girl, there's a process of things that needs to take place. First, you talk to this girl, this female, and you see where she's at. What type of principles does she has in her life? Because if you get the wrong kind of girl, she's going to take you backwards.
Right.
And you're going to end up doing things worse than what you did before you fast. She has to have certain things in place in her life so that when you two come together, you can elevate. You can elevate her from where she's at to allow her to see the type of man she's supposed to have in her life, what she's supposed to desire. Or she can help to elevate you to let you see the type of woman you're supposed to have and how you're supposed to conduct yourself as a man. So that thing can work vice versa, or it can work both ways, which means that you two are good for each other, period.
Right.
And y'all grow together. That would be the best thing. But if you got a woman that's always going to let you have your way all the time and give you whatever you want just because you want it, that's not the best thing for you to have when you're coming out of a sickness. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like a mother. If a mother know that you're sick and you just got well because she gave you some herbs, and then she start giving you that food all over again that made you sick, that's not the best mother to have.
Right.
She's thinking with a minority mind state. It's like the parent who takes the child to the dentist to get the cavities filled, and as a reward after seeing the dentist, she goes out and buy him a lollipop or a taffy or a popsicle.
Right. Defeating the purpose.
Defeating the purpose. That's right. She's not teaching him anything. She's not educating him. Once she did that, she should change his diet and then move him in a different direction. So shall it be with a woman when she's dealing with a man who realizes what he's been through. He's sick. So once his sickness is cured, so much cured, she's not to contaminate him again. She's supposed to elevate him and help him to continue to be elevated. So if you got a woman that's taking you backwards, once your sickness is removed from you, that's not the woman for you. You have to elevate, but you as a man, once your sickness is removed from you, that woman that you get has to be one worthy of having you.
Right.
You elevate her, but you got to see if certain things are in place. Does she love the Creator? Does she want to fear the Creator? And if she doesn't know the Creator, will she be willing to learn of the Creator? If not, she's going to take you backwards. So even if the woman that you had before, that you ran over and did bad and did dirt, when you come back in her life, if she lets you in, she has to still meet those qualifications.
Right.
Because if she doesn't meet those qualifications, if she loves the Creator, want to learn about the Creator, want to be a servant of the Creator, if she doesn't meet those qualifications, then you have no future with her.
Right.
Because you're going to revert right back to that same behavior that you had prior to being with her. And you have to understand that.
Yeah, I do.
Okay?
I do.
Even if you go back and she doesn't change where she wants to now begin to serve the Creator with you, or even more than you, then she's going to take you backwards. And it's going to be a recessive behavior. And you don't want that.
Right.
So you got to be careful. That's like somebody who smoked crack. He go to the rehab and stay in the rehab for 9 years. Let's say 6 months or a year. He come out, he a brand new man, got a new mind. But now he go right back to that same woman that was smoking crack.
He gonna start smoking crack.
He gonna start smoking crack with her unless he get away from her.
Right.
Or unless she also decides, I want to go where you go. So lead me to your Creator and we'll be all right. But if she doesn't, she's going to take him down. And it might take a little bit of time before it happens, but that's what's going to happen.
Right.
All right? The Most High says that we worship Him with our mouths, but our minds, if we continue to read, our hearts. You see, your heart is your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Your heart is live. The word is live in Hebrew. It's live. And live is both the mind and the heart. It's the same word for both. And if you think about it, you say, I feel you in my heart, baby. No, you feel it with your mind. Your mind's the author of that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The Creator says, moreover, 29 and 13. He says, wherefore, thus saith the Creator, for as much as this people draw near to me, Isaiah 29 and 13, as much as this people draw near to me with their mouths and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their hearts far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the perceptions of men. So much is said in there that we can really close the books and it'll be done. I'm going to read it one more time and then I'll explain what's being said. The Creator says, for as much as this people draw near to me with their mouths, give them lip service, and with their lips we say we honor Him, but they have removed their hearts, which means their true intentions, their actions, that which their desires are. They remove their desires far from me, and their fear of the Creator is taught by the perceptions of men. Men has taught us how to serve the Creator.
Right.
But if we were real with these things, the Creator will teach us how to serve the Creator. It's a difference. As a man, I can tell you what other men taught me. But this conversation I'm having with you today about how to transform your life, I wasn't taught that by no man. I don't know a man that was wise enough to say, young man, sit down, you're doing it wrong, do this. I don't know a man that did that to me. I had to realize within myself and open myself up to the Creator because my heart was real. I wanted to change.
Right.
I wanted a difference to take place in me.
Right.
So when I cried out and I worshiped Him with my mouth and my mind, everything was one in unison, and I asked Him, and He showed me what I needed to do. You understand?
Absolutely.
That's not taught by no man. And it's best that if you want to know, you go to the Creator first. And that's what I told you when we was outside.
Yeah.
You go to the King and ask the King if this is what you desire. I didn't bother you, I ain't sweat you, I ain't hound you or nothing.
No, you didn't.
I waited for you to say, this is what you want to do. Because once you decide with a willing spirit, then I'm all for it. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to give you everything I can give you. But if I see you frauding, you ain't changing, because I'm not in it for the numbers. If that's the way, I'd be somewhere else doing something. It ain't about that. I'm in it for the individual. If the Creator saw fit to open your minds and cause you to come to my home and say, yo, Prince, can you educate me? Can you teach me in the ways of the Creator? I'm going to give that to you. I'm going to give you the ways of man, and then I'm going to introduce you to the ways of the Creator. I'm going to say, choose you this day which one you want, which path you want to walk. If you want to walk after man and you want to follow religion and pray to God and thank Jesus for whatever you do, that's the ways of man. Then that's what you do. If you want to know the truth about the Creator, separate from all religious ideals, ideology, and thought, and look within yourself and find the Creator that exists within you, and ask Him for help, for guidance and understanding, You do that, then you'll know the way of the Creator. You wrestle with these principles that tries to destroy and defame you in the dark while you're walking around in the light. And what I mean by that is, it's daylight outside, but yet our minds are still dark. We're in a cloud of confusion and don't even understand that we're in a cloud of confusion for the most of us. Honestly. Now this is on some another level stuff. You have to be able to understand and rightfully discern what's taking place in your life today. And I don't know if you do. I would pray that you do. But it's not just as easy as, well, I know I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Now you got a responsibility. So from that day forward that you learn your Hebrew, your whole life has to change. And the people you associate in your life has to change. Everything you do in your life has to change. You have to become a new man. And those things that you got pleasure out of before, 90% of those things will be cut. And you can't do them no more.
I understand that.
I pray that you do. So we're going to stop this portion of our lesson.
Okay.
You can definitely go home and read the rest of this.
Yes, I will.
And there'll be a lot of information for you.
Yes,
Okay.
I will. But I definitely understand that. Like I was telling you last week, I'm doing a lot of, I'm making a lot of change. You know what I mean? I'm really like a lot of things I'm cutting out, I'm cutting off. I grew up in Southwest Philly, so usually I would go down there on my days off, hang out, chill with the boys, you know, regular stuff. I'm down there in almost a month, man. I'm really just trying to, you know, cut things off that I don't think that the Creator would approve of. You know what I mean? I'm really trying my best to, and I pray to Him to help me to do that, because I know I can't do it by myself. I know the flesh is weak, so I need Him to empower me to do certain things. You know, I want to, but I also need His help to help me to do it. I can't do it by myself because I've been stuck in my ways for so long, and I'm just coming into the truth. So to leave that stuff alone, I can't. Without His help, I know I can't. You know what I mean? I know I can't do it. So I pray to Him diligently. Like I started in the morning. I meditate before I go to work.
What time is that?
I usually get up around like 7 to leave, so I usually about 6 o'clock. I usually meditate before I eat my breakfast, just to get my mind straight. Because my elder told me before that if you meditate in the morning, that's giving you a good start on the day, because you're putting the Creator on your mind. You know, so you have that before you do anything. You're giving thanks and you're putting the Creator on your mind. So I've been trying to do that, and then when I get home, I pray that I got home safely, I had a good day. I thank Him for that. And then I pray at night, because I remember you said that you have to pray when we was talking last week, and you was telling me that if God tells you something He don't pray, don't listen to Him. You know, so when you was telling me that, I said, I've been starting to get my prayer up. And another question I wanted to ask you. This week I'm gonna fast this week, because it's just some things that I want to make atonement for. You know, and I was wondering how my plan was to only eat when the sun was down. Is that a good? Do you think that'd be a good way to go about it? Because I was planning on eating when I get up and then going to work, not eating at all, and maybe drink water. You know, but besides water, not eating at all at work, anything like that. And when I come home, I wasn't going to eat until the sun goes down. Because I never did it before, so that's why I wanted to ask your advice on it, because I never fasted, but I know I need to, and I wanted to, you know, just get some guidelines about how you could do that.
The body works in different ways.
Okay.
In the book, there's a book called The Art of War by Sun Tzu. I would suggest you get that book and read it.
Okay.
It's a very good book.
I heard that book before, but I never read it, but I heard it.
I think I may have a copy of it over here.
Okay.
But this book speaks about the best time to attack if you're going to attack someone. It says you should never attack early in the morning. Early in the morning. Because people are well rested and they're ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
You should never attack in the middle of the day, because during the middle of the day, they're up and they're awake. If you're going to attack your enemy when he's off guard, and usually that's when he's ready to go to sleep,
Right.
when he goes to rest. Because when he goes to rest, his body, his faculty is not the same. Each one of those things that I mentioned to you, your mind is in a different level and capability of thinking each one of those 3 different times of a day. Physically, our bodies are consuming energy differently in each one of those times of the day.
Okay.
Early in the morning, the first thing we want to say, the best thing you can do is drink water when you wake up.
Yeah, maybe you told me that last week. You did tell me that.
If you're going to go in the evening and only eat in the evening, that food will be sitting on your stomach and it's not going to burn off as best it should.
Okay.
Because you'll be having it in your stomach, you lay down, you go to sleep, and you're resting all day, and then you get up in the morning, you drink some water. Well, in the afternoon is when your body's going to need that food the most.
Okay.
Because not only the sun is beating on you, but you've been up all this time, and it's going to hold you through the middle of your day. And so, in my opinion, it would be best if you ate that meal in the afternoon
Okay.
as opposed to after the sun went down.
Okay.
So if you're only going to eat once a day, do it
Mhm.
around 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to take your advice because, like I said, you told me before that you've done it many a time.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've never done it, so I know. That's why I wanted to ask you. I said I know you would probably know the do's and don'ts and the best way to get around it, and that's why I said I'd rather ask you to give me some knowledge on that before I go there and just fall, because I never did it before, but I know I need to. I've been thinking about it for a while now because I just doing this fast. I want to ask the Creator to forgive me for my transgressions, but at the same time to bring me closer to Him, and I want to fast to show Him my submittance to Him, that I'm serious when I tell Him that I want I want to be closer to Him, and I want to atone for my things. That's the point of my fast, to let Him know, because anybody can say, God, I'm sorry. But I want Him to know that I'm dead serious when I say this. That's why I wanted to do this fast, just as a submission to Him, so He knows that, okay, He's not playing around, he's serious about what He's saying.
Well, after your fast and along during your fast and before your fast, your actions is going to let Him know how you feel. We pray 3 times a day. 5 o'clock in the morning,
Okay.
2 o'clock in the afternoon, and before we go to bed.
Okay.
That's how we pray 3 times a day, every week, every day.
Okay.
We fast 1 day a week, on Tuesday night from 12 o'clock to Wednesday night at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
We don't
Do you
do
have a
nothing.
pen there? I don't want to cut you off because I wanted to write this down. I wanted to really get with this because I should have brought my notebook
My
up here.
office is downstairs,
Okay.
so I don't have any pins at this time. But I can always, you can call me and I can leave it on your phone.
Yeah. You just leave it on my
Message.
phone at time, because I really want to. You said, now I know you said once in the morning. You said at 2 o'clock. And you
We
said
pray
before
5
we go to
o'clock
sleep.
in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning.
We get up 5 o'clock no matter what, we make prayer.
Okay.
2 o'clock in the afternoon we make prayer. But the 2 o'clock prayer is what we call Zadika prayer, charity prayer.
Okay.
2 o'clock we don't pray for ourselves and what we want. We pray for the nation
Okay.
on whole.
Okay.
It's not best that you pray for an individual unless that individual gives you permission to pray for them.
Okay.
If the individual don't say you can pray for them, you shouldn't do it.
Okay.
But you should ask for their permission. If they give you permission, then you can pray for them.
Okay.
But you pray for the nation on the whole because we need to rise.
Right.
We need that. And then before you go to bed, we make prayer.
Okay.
Prayer in Hebrew is tefillah.
Okay.
You asking us to bow down. You ask the Creator for that. You make that before you go to bed as well. 5 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon before you go to bed.
Okay.
And then we fast from Tuesday night at 12 o'clock to Wednesday night at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
We don't eat or drink.
Okay.
But some people are not as strong as everyone, so if you want to drink, then you can drink.
Okay.
But I don't do anything.
Okay.
I don't eat or drink during those hours.
Okay.
And I fast, and I've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, I know you was telling me. That's why I said I wanted to really talk to you about it, because it's something I wanted to do. Because I know, like I said, like I was telling you before, I did a lot of crazy stuff. And you know what I mean? And now I just want the Creator to know that, that's behind me. I'm not, I don't want nothing to do with that no more. I'm trying to live a whole different way. I'm looking at things a whole different way. I don't want nothing to do with that. And I just want him to know that I'm serious about what I'm saying. And I know you do that by your deeds and also you have to, like, as far as, like, for instance, tonight, my friends are going to this club, and God told me, so what you doing Saturday? I said, well, I'm an Israelite now, so I have to make Shabbat. And he said, yeah, you told me, but that's over at night. I said, yeah. He said, well, you going to club with us? And I said, well, basically, no, I can't, because God said we shouldn't be in no den of iniquity, and that's what that is. So,
Who told you that?
well, I've just heard that a whole lot when I was younger. And
Do you think your life is supposed to die when you become a Hebrew? When you begin to live for the Creator?
No, I just want to do things the right way.
Well, to do the things the right way, you have to enjoy what you're doing.
Okay.
And what I want to say to you is, if you know that that's a weakness for you, then you shouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can replace that with something that's more pleasurable, that is not going to take away from you enjoying life.
Okay.
That's where a lot of us makes mistakes, and that's why I'm saying about we don't want to be religious, because those are religious thoughts, religious
Right.
teachings. I'm not, if I have the opportunity to teach you, I'm not going to teach you to think like religion.
Right.
If you were to go out with your friends, it depends on what you're doing
Mm-hmm.
that's going to make you what you are.
Okay.
The same people in the club are the same people that's on the streets.
Right.
The same music in the club is the same music you listen to.
Right.
Those same girls are going to be the same girls you see walking up and down the street, so how are you going to avoid that
Right.
in real life?
You can't.
The point I'm trying to make to you is, if you chose to go to the club, it's all about what you indulge in that club,
Okay.
how you conduct yourself in that club. But I will say this: if you go into that club and you feel that this place is not for you, flee.
Okay.
Don't even hesitate. Don't even try to fit in. Get up and go. Don't cut things out of your life just because religion taught you that they're not good. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Feel for yourself and understand for yourself what's good and what's not good for you.
Okay.
If you know that there's a certain person that you had communications with that's going to make you weak, then it's best that you shouldn't deal with that person.
Right.
You understand? Or
Mhm.
try to avoid them. Or the best way, let me correct this, the best way is to sit down with that person and tell them what offends you with them.
Okay.
And if they continue in their habits, then you have to separate from them, because they will affect you and bring you down. You follow me?
Absolutely.
So with your friends, you did the right thing saying, yo, I live my life as a Hebrew now. In my opinion, you did the right thing. But let them know there's just certain things that you don't do. Like, they might be expecting you to be putting money in this girl G-string, because I don't know where y'all going. You might
Right.
be going to that go-go joint, and that might be what y'all found
No,
fun.
we were talking about just the regular dance club.
Okay.
Just a regular dance
Yeah,
club.
go have a good time, man. Enjoy yourself. Live your life. You don't have to die because you begin to give your life to the Creator. What it means is you have to be circumspect of your behavior,
Okay.
of how you conduct yourself and what you do. Now, if you find that this lifestyle is overwhelming for you and you can't do it, then you have to die to this world.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Then you stop doing certain things,
Right.
almost everything, because everything is tied up in the world.
Right.
But if you're able to serve the Creator and still enjoy life, like some people say you can't go to the movies if you live and serve the Creator. Some religions will teach you can't even go to the movies. Well, I don't do that.
I don't see that.
Right, just like you say, you don't think you should go to the club. If that's religious teachings. And I'm not going to give you religion. I'm going to teach you how to be a man of the Creator, a real man of the Creator,
That's what I want.
the best of my ability. Well, in order for you to be a man of the Creator, doesn't mean you don't enjoy life.
Okay.
Doesn't mean you don't have fun. That's the mistake that a lot of Hebrews or people who are learned people, that's the mistake that they make. They die, but yet they're alive.
Right.
They still living and breathing, and they can get down and talk book knowledge, but they're dead. They're no fun to be with. Don't no woman want to live their life with them, and they're alone.
Right.
The woman that they're with is miserable because they don't even want to go take a walk in the park and hold hands. Oh, you shouldn't be holding hands in the public. No, I don't want to do. I didn't even used to kiss my woman out in the public.
Wow.
I love my woman. I won't stop kissing her now. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was a time when I wouldn't do stuff like that because religion taught me to be like this. Oh no, we don't do that. We're not those kind of man. I tongue my wife down in the middle of the crowd. I don't care who looking. Mind your business.
I hear that.
I'm happy with her. That's my woman.
I hear that.
That's how I would do it.
I hear
Honestly. I mean, I wouldn't be having sex out.
Oh, of
with her,
course
but
not, yeah.
I'm going to express my affection for her and let her know that I love her at all times, wherever we at.
Right.
If that moment hits me.
Right.
Yeah, we could be sitting in the temple. She sitting on the other side of the pulpit. I'm sitting on the other side. I'll be like, hey, baby.
Yeah.
On the Shabbat day. And ain't nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? But if I got out of order, that's a different thing. You
Right.
know? If I'm disrespectful with it, then yeah, that's a problem.
Right.
But there's ways that we have to honor our women and let the world know that we love her. Because it's important to her that you let the world know she loves you. That you love her.
Yeah, I trust me. I do good with that part because her whole family knows I love her. Like they tell her stuff like, "You got a good guy." Yeah, her whole family sees it.
That ain't gonna happen for long. If her family right now ain't worshiping the Creator and they talking about how much you love her, when you start changing her life,
Oh, I'm already
and she
started.
start doing those things for the
Yeah.
Creator and start telling them no,
Yeah, because I already started. Like
it's that nigga you with. That nigga got you brainwashed. He got your mind, and you shouldn't be doing it.
I got
That's
to.
gonna happen.
Yeah, 'cause I'm starting though. Like I told her, she just ordered about 6 dresses offline, and I got. We went to the store. We picked up about 8 hair wraps for her. So you know, we're getting it together.
Well, if the time comes that you feel like you want to bring your wife to class, let me know, and I'll have some females here
Okay.
so that she don't feel out of place.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to you this week, but it might be because she works every other weekend. That's what I'm trying. But her job makes her work on every other Saturday because she's like,
If you need some documentation to give to her job so she cannot work on Shabbat, I can provide you the
oh,
documentation.
I would love that. I would love that because when I was telling her, because she said, oh, he's right up the street from me, you know, because I was telling her remember I was telling you I was looking for somewhere that, you know, because I didn't want to just take her somewhere where, you know, they talking nonsense. And then it's when I bumped into you the second time I was going out. But when I told her I was up the block, you was up the block and things we discussed, she said, yeah, I want to go. So that'd be good.
Text me her name later.
Mm-hmm.
I'll draw you up the documents. I'll put the seal on it, the stamp. You come get it and give it to her. She take it to her job, and they should give her off every Saturday, every Shabbat from that day forward, and the holy days.
I believe that'd be perfect. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, I have a website, OneNationCalendarCoalition.com, OneNationCalendarCoalition.org, where you can go and download the holy days, the up and coming holy days. But we haven't posted them yet for next year,
Okay.
so we're done for this year. We don't have any more holy days this year,
Okay.
except for Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
But next year they'll be coming out, and then you can always go to their website and get the information and see when the holy days are. But we have letters for holy days. Actually, it's on the website. We'll have a letter for holy days on the website as well.
Okay, yeah, and I definitely would need to see that too, because I know we have to. That's one thing I wanted to. That's why I was trying to actually go to somewhere, because I didn't know the exact days that the holy days fall on. I just knew we have to abide by that. You know, we have to celebrate those holy days. So that's why one of the reasons I was trying to find before I met you, somewhere that I could go where they would let me know the holy days and they would abide by those rules, because I know that we have to keep those. I know for a fact we have to keep those.
Yep.
You know, because like I was telling my friend the other day, he was like, what you talking about? I said, because God gave us holy days to celebrate. I was like, I've been celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving my whole life, and that ain't nothing to do with him. You know what I mean? So I need to celebrate what he designated for us to celebrate, you know.
That was religion that had you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was celebrating on them days, and it shocked me when I found out we don't. And then when I read Jeremiah, and I said, what? They were talking about the Christmas trees, and I believe it's 10. I could be wrong, but I believe it's Jeremiah 10. And I said, man, I've been doing this my whole life. And when I was in Christian church, they actually condoned it, but it just blew my mind. Like, you're a pastor. You know what's in this book. You're supposed to know what's in this book. So how could you endorse me, you know what I mean, celebrating Christmas, when you know this book is strictly against that, but you never say nothing about it. You never bring it up in church. It's never a discussion. When Christmas time comes, you talk about, oh, everybody's going Christmas shopping, and you're saying all this stuff, but in this book right here, it tells me don't have no parts of that. And I've been in church for years, and I never heard a preacher say you ain't supposed to celebrate Christmas. You know, it's mind-boggling to me. It's really mind-boggling. Like, you know we're not supposed to do this. You know for a fact. I mean, you went to theological school, so you read the book cover to cover, so you already know. But yet, you allow me to keep doing this and never say nothing to me about it. It's just mind-boggling. It was just mind-boggling. When I got woke up, it was an experience, man. Because when you find out so much stuff, like even that I was a Hebrew when I was reading Deuteronomy, I've been in church this whole time and nobody said nothing. I mean, and I had a black pastor, you know what I mean? But he never told the congregation, never went over Deuteronomy. You know, he would pick his whatever he was teaching on, but he never gave us the information that we need. You know, when the first time I heard that, the guy told me, he said, you know, you're Israel. I said, what? My response to him was, man, they over there somewhere. They white people. You know what I mean? But I didn't know. And then he finally told me, no, they not. You know what I mean? You are. They're not. And then I was like, man, come on, man. They've been over there for years, man. I never seen Israel. I don't know nothing about them. Nobody told me about no Israel. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Are you serious? No, I'm black. I don't, you know what I mean? So I read what they told me to read. And I said, wow. So I've been on this planet 40 years and I've been in church and nobody never said nothing. I mean, because I went to Sunday school since I was a little boy. Sunday school, Bible study, vacation Bible school, you know, the retreats that they send you on. I went through all that my whole life. I say I got out of church because it wasn't seeming right to me around maybe about 22, 23. Because it was just the stuff that I was seeing around the church that just didn't. I was like, man, something ain't right there. I couldn't put my finger on it, but something's not right in there. So that's when I stopped going. But when I started coming into the truth, it was just amazing to me, this stuff that I didn't know that I should have knew. You know, it was just really, I was like, what? How can this be? You know what I mean? I thought I knew something. I didn't know nothing. And I thought I knew something that, you know, I thought I knew something about some spirituality, and I thought I knew, you know, at least a little something. Coming into the truth, I had to relearn that. I didn't know nothing. And it's amazing. I'm just glad that the Creator blessed me and gave me the ears to hear people while they were talking, to wake me up. Because, you know, some people will never hear. And I'm just thankful that the Creator gave me ears to hear, that something that sparked in me when I heard something and say, yeah, you need to investigate that. You know what I mean? I'm just glad. I'm really thankful for that, you know, that because if it would have been terrible if I never would have been into this truth, like, and I'd have been still following that. I pray to God, I'm just so happy that I'm not no more, because that's just retarded and stupid, like, and I was entrenched in that stuff, and then.
But did you notice how you try to take that, and once you came to understanding or closer to the light, you try to bring that along with you?
Right. Until me and you had the conversation, I was like,
and that's what we do.
Yeah.
A lot of Hebrews were a part of the Christian church, found they was Hebrews, but they still bring JC along with them. Mm-hmm. JC is the deity of the Christian church.
Right.
And they bring him right into the worship of the Creator. How do you do that?
You're absolutely right.
It's because you haven't fully woken.
Right.
Your mind hasn't really awakened to the place where it needs to be. You haven't really developed.
That's why I say, like I say, I haven't known you for so long, but I appreciate you, brother. I really appreciate you, you know, because you've answered a lot of things for me, you know, and from what I've learned from you, and then I go to the book, and then the Creator reveals more to me, because it's like you give me like a little starting block, you know, and then when I go with that starting block and I get in a book, then God shoots the gun. You know what I mean?
It's supposed to be.
And he just lets me go.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
You know what I mean? And I appreciate you so much, bro. I mean, I told you last week, but I'll tell you again, I appreciate you, man, because you've been so much of a help to me. Just to getting rid of what I shouldn't have and gaining what I should have. And I appreciate that very much.
It's my job. I'm here to serve.
Well, you're doing a good job, and I plan to keep receiving.
Well, let's try to make this happen. May the Most High be praised.
Yes, it.